It's three guys who combined to play 15 seasons in the National Football League trenches. Well, two guys. And Mackey, who didn't do shit. He just sits there and looks pretty.
This is the OLine Committee.
Yeah, who's ready for some playoff football, boys? Who's
this
ready?
guy is.
Oh,
He's got two thumbs and can't wait. This guy.
this guy.
Are you kidding me? It's going to
guy.
be electric. Woo!
Oh, boys, it's here.
know.
We made it.
It's here.
We made it
We
to
have.
we made it to January football.
It is. It's kind of it's a
Glorious
little
football.
sad too because you only have like a month left of football and you want to
Hey,
savor it.
hey, we don't talk like that. Never in the rooms with somebody like, I'm sad, guys. It's only a month left. Okay? It's only
Well,
one
listen,
month.
That's because in the rooms you were like, "Ooh, vacation's coming. I'm gonna sit on my ass at home for a little bit." Like this is like the silver lining because right now, like what people forget is everyone's now playing for the same amount of money.
Yes.
Right, like during the
12 grand.
season, everyone's got the pay scale, whatever. Like when you get into the playoffs, everyone's on a level playing field. Everyone's making the same amount of money. Like there is no more like hierarchy. It's just bonus, right? You're just playing with house money, and you're just going, "Hey, we live 1 week at a time, right? 1 week at a time, one day at a time." Because the abrupt of the end of an NFL season, like I just talked with my rookies, right, and they're just like, "So." They just said, "See you in April." And I was like,
Yeah, dude.
"Yeah, that's how
They're
it
not
works."
happy. They're not
Like,
happy.
they're like,
Kicked you out.
he's like, he goes, "My O-line coach didn't even say goodbye." I go, "Because he got fired."
Yeah.
Like, there's no, like, it's not.
Welcome to the real world,
Like
buddy.
this, they call it Black Monday for a reason, pal. Like
that's
he's like,
rough.
this is weird. I was like, "Yeah, so go enjoy it and see you in April." Like,
Dude,
it's
what
just
is-
such an
so-
abrupt ending?
Black
It is
Monday.
terrible.
What is before we get to who's the mic? By the way, we have a final fat guy fantasy football tally here today.
About
Boys,
time.
We're gonna
Cannot
find out.
wait. Got a boy,
who won.
Mackey.
I'm calling it right
Jay's
now.
already-
I don't even know, but I'm calling it. I am the champion.
We'll have to see in a few
Not a
minutes.
chance.
What is Black Monday like as a player? I mean, you're looking around. There's all these coaches, or I don't know. Do you wake up? Do you throw on like NFL Network? Are you in the building right away? Like, what is it like as a player knowing that okay, we won 5 games this year and people are getting canned all around me? What's happening?
It really only happened once in my career. I mean, BA retired it when I was
Singletary?
there. Yeah, and that was it. But other than that, like if you're after the season, if you're not going to the playoffs, that next day sucks. I mean, it sucks because the owner's really pissed. He's like, "Hey, listen, I'm just gonna be real with everybody. You guys suck, and if you think you're coming back to your job, I would rethink that. Like, unless you're making $50 million, you're gone." Just letting you
Dude,
know.
I feel like every industry needs this. You know, if
Oh,
you're,
dude, it is
you're working
so
for
harsh.
H&R Block, you're an
But
accountant at H&R
here's
Block. You
the
come in
problem,
once
though.
a year on a Monday, you might get your ass canned publicly.
They're for real too. Like they're dead ass real. And the worst is like you'll break off and you'll go into an offensive meeting. The OC will be like, "Well, he's not wrong. We did it to ourselves, boys. We really screwed the pooch here." And then you break off into another meeting, the O-line coach, and he's like, "Well, I guess this is the last time I'll be seeing you guys." You're like, Jesus, how many times am I going to be told I'm getting cut and fired in the same day? And then all of a sudden, like, you leave the building and everyone's like, "Well, what are we going to do?" And you're like, steak. You're like, steak dinner? Everybody in for a steak dinner? And then we'll go on our vacation. Like, it's insane how fast, like Jay said, and you can never put into words how fast it really happens. But the minute the season's over, it's almost like you feel terrible. Like, you just instantly get sick and you're like,
Yes.
"Well, now what? Well, now what am I going to do? Oh, God. Oh, my God, I got to go to the grocery store. My wife's going to make me watch the kids. Holy shit, I got to do some coaching. Oh, God, this is terrible." Oh, like, you were just so ingrained in this awesome lifestyle for the last 16 weeks, and food was always in front of you, and people were always like, "Shut up and go there." And you're like, "Okay, I don't have to think anymore. This is great." And then you just went into a whole new world of like going to gymnastics and sitting there like everybody else. And you're like, "This is what my wife does all day? What the fuck?" It's amazing. It's amazing.
This is normal
right?
civilization.
This can't be real. Dude, it is so insane. And then, like, he's not wrong because they literally just look at you and go, "Well, we'll see you in April. Peace." And then April comes and they, like, the day you show up, they just look at you like, "What have you been doing?" "Nothing."
Mhm.
Yeah, you're the one. You're definitely getting cut. You're gone. Like it's so crazy. But
boy.
the teams going on feel great. I used to remember like going to get pancakes, like who's getting fired. Oh, that sucks. No, it doesn't. I should have played better. Like, dude, it is such a love-hate industry. It is so fun at times.
Yeah, I mean the Black Monday. I don't know if I was ever really part of it for like walking in and being like, "Oh, he's gone." But I think Jeff Davidson, when he was the O-line coach for the Vikings in 2015, when we walked in for our exit meetings, I was like, "So what do you need from me for next year?" And he was just like, "I don't. Just keep working on yourself. I think you'll be fine." I was like,
Find yourself this offseason.
okay. Like I was like in my second year, didn't play much during the year, was inactive a few times, and I was like, yeah, I really want to make it next year. He's like, yeah, just keep working on yourself, like because he knew the writing was on the wall, like he knew he was gone, and so like I think like 2 days later he got fired, and he was like, guess I'll just work on myself. Like
He knew he was out the door.
To be fair, I met you the next year. Okay, so
yeah.
we did find ourselves.
That was when
We found
Sperano
ourselves
came
pretty
in.
far.
A
yeah.
bromance was found, at least.
Yeah.
Dude,
But,
I remember when I
mean,
got there, everybody was like, I don't know if you would have liked Jeff Davidson. Do you think I would have liked him?
Yeah, because he was a vet coach.
Oh, okay.
Like he was, and that's why I struggled. And I'm not trying to poo-poo on Jeff Davidson by any means. Please don't think of that. But like Juan Castillo was the same way. Like some of these coaches in the league are what we call vet coaches, which is like they're great for vets, right? They're great on the board. They're great at like here's the scheme, like here's what we need to do, all these things. But they're not what I would call great developers at times. Like for the young guys, where like you're walking in, like I don't know what to do. Like I don't know what's going on, right? So
They kind of leave it into your hands. Like
they're
they
like,
they
block
give
the
you
guy.
great advice, but they're not fundamental guys. Like Mike Solari was a fundamental guy. He was like, hey, let's go hit the shoots until week 17. Huh? Great idea. And you were like, no, horrible idea. I don't want to touch those things again. Or he'd come in and he'd be like, guys, it's going to be a great opportunity today. We're going to go full pads. You'd be like, week 15, you'd be like, wait, whoa, what? He'd be like, 9-on-7, it's back. Whereas like other coaches would be like, all right, listen, today, I'll cut it back for you. I cut it way back. I got you down. Do some indie, and then we call it. You're like, yeah, I like that. But Jay's right. You don't really build with those guys. Like football is such a terrible sport that it's like, in order to get better, you have to break yourself down so hard. Like you have to train super hard. If you're an offensive lineman, you have to work on your footwork every single day, your hand placement every day. All these things are so important. But come week 17, Jay said it. A vet coach are the guys you're like, I love you. I love you so much. And he's like, I know you're beat up. I know you're hurt. Now here's the thing with a vet coach. If you go out and get your ass kicked, that shit changes real quick. It goes into fundamentals till the end. Like it's like, okay, you guys don't understand how to take advice. Okay, I'll show you how to take advice. And then the individual for like 2 hours becomes footwork, and you're like, I swear to God, I'll listen to anything he says. I'll never not listen to him again. I swear to God, I'll never not listen to him. Dude, it's crazy. It's crazy how fast they can break you down. I miss it.
What's happening in there right now? Is there like a fire alarm going off, Jay?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. There's like
We can't hear anything, by the way. So
No.
there's nothing
good.
going on. There's no lights flashing on my end. Like I don't know what's happening. Like,
Is there like an actual alarm going on? Jay is in Orlando with an Airbnb or something.
live from Orlando?
Yeah.
No. Why is there something happening?
No,
on the
you keep
stream?
you look
keep
around
looking
like
around like there's somebody
I
in
don't
the
know.
house.
Okay, is it me, or is it just me, or is it my like screen flashing?
No, you're good.
it's just you're having a seizure. I think
It must
just
just be.
in your
It must just be.
CTE
It's
phase,
the
bro.
CTE,
dude.
The
Yeah,
CTE.
you're good. Is everything
so we're good.
flashing and blinking? No,
No,
Jay.
it looks like on my screen right now. It looks like there is like a fire alarm flashing. So I was looking around like, am I stupid?
Are you guys slurring your words, or am I about to freak
Listen,
out?
as long as I'm not puking this morning, everything is fine.
It's great. Hey, okay. I'm gonna
Here's
start
the
with
mic.
the first. I'm gonna start
Hit
with the
me.
first
I'm
mic.
too.
We're
Okay.
dive
too.
deep in. It's big, baby.
in
Let's
it.
go.
And it's not just the mic I'm identifying. It's all of the mics. It's several mics. It's all of the coaches we've lost on Black Monday week here. And here's my question for you. Yo, where's Sarah McLaughlin? In the arms.
Remember me.
Little black and white still shot of Mike Vrabel.
Hey, leave Vrabes out
Arthur
of this.
Smith lighting up Dennis Allen.
It's coming.
They're just
I'm
walking
too.
into the sunset.
I'm
They're
too.
walking into the sunset, and they do the look back behind their shoulder.
Narrator
I'll
comes in.
see you guys.
Mike
I'll see
Vrabel
ya.
took a Titans team to the playoffs 3 different times.
I love
Got his
Vrabes,
ass
dude.
kicked.
That was.
All right, hold on. Let Mikey go before we just keep interrupting him.
Here's my
Go,
mic.
Mikey.
Here's the mic. Okay. I want you to. Well, so my mic is the fallen coaches this week, but I want you guys to rank these job openings as of right now. So these are the job openings as of right now.
Here we go.
We got Chargers open. We got Titans open. I think the Raiders shouldn't be open for long.
I don't think it is. I don't think it is.
Pierce got. So let's
I
take
don't
the
know. I don't
We'll
know.
leave the Raiders on. You guys can do whatever you want. Panthers, Falcons, Commanders. I'm going to assume Patriots on this list too.
I'm gonna have to write this.
You ready?
Down. Go again.
Okay,
Hold on.
rank
Go
them:
again.
Chargers, Titans, Raiders, Panthers, Falcons, Commanders, Patriots. I'm assuming as of the recording of this podcast, nothing official, but rank those. If you're Jim Harbaugh,
Number one.
If you
Chargers.
want, okay,
by far. Number one is
Jim
Chargers.
Harbaugh's not leaving Michigan.
dude. I don't know.
All right.
I feel like we've had that discussion 3 different times.
One is Chargers.
I
agree?
agree with you. I agree with you.
Do you agree that 2 would be Chicago? Dude.
I didn't put Chicago on the list.
I'm gonna say Chicago's not on the list.
Oh, my bad. Not Chicago. What was it?
I mean, they might be at some
no,
point.
they're not.
No, they're not.
I think
Not.
honestly, as weirdly as I think number 2 is going to be the Commanders. I think because you have the second overall pick, right? So you're going to go a chance to go stake your claim on a quarterback, right? And
You got Bob Myers and Rick Spielman heading up the job
right?
search. Your former boss, Rick Spielman.
figuring it out. And I think like that roster has some talent on it, right? You talk about Payne in the middle, Jonathan Allen in the middle on defense. You got Dotson, Terry McLaurin, right? I mean, it's got some dudes. Robinson in the backfield. Like, they were just kind of missing. Sam Howell just wasn't it, right? Sam Howell wasn't it. And so I think like you get Drake May in there, you go draft an edge rusher, you get some corners. Like I like the Commanders as the second job there.
It's not a bad idea. I think the biggest thing for me is the edge rushers. Like,
Well,
dude,
you got rid of Sweat
but
and
that's
you
my
got rid of
point.
Young. And so
how long is
go
it going
get
to
some.
take you to get a dominant defense? Like, dude, they don't
There's
just wake
always
up-
edge rushers in free agency though. There's always edge
What's their
rushers in
cap?
free agency.
What's their cap,
That-
Mackey?
and that's the thing. That's
See,
the
now
thing I'd
that's a
have to look
question.
out.
That's another question.
no,
You have to
I
know what the
completely
cap is
agree.
because somebody
You
coming
have
in
to
is
look
going
up
to
the
want to
cap.
know
Here we go.
what's my cap.
God, you guys are listening. I like this. I like the detail here. The Commanders, you'll be happy to know, have the most cap space of any team.
Oh,
in the
they
NFL.
definitely are too because you got a lot of
Here,
money
I'll-
to play with and the 2
I'll give you
overall
this.
pick.
Actually, so if you do, so I'm going to
And a quarterback on a rookie contract
Yo.
if they draft a quarterback, yes, which they
when
probably
they draft a quarterback.
But they could. but
did
what
you
they
just
could
say
do is,
if?
hold on, they could trade back, get an extra first round pick.
Stop. You've been covering the Vikings for too
I was
long.
gonna say Spielman
You've been,
too long.
You've been,
That sounds like a Spielman deal.
You've
all
been
the way.
covering the Vikings
That's
for too
not
long.
really going to happen.
trading them.
The
Just
Vikings
start
could
trading
trade
them.
up to
and
2.
go back and get more.
Just
Go back and get more.
No, it's a terrible
And do
idea.
nothing with it. Do it again next year.
Here's the cap space. Here's the cap space. The Titans actually have the most what's called effective cap space, and then it's the Commanders number 2, and the Patriots
that's why-
they're number 3.
Patriots are definitely going to be 4 in this equation, but I think between the Titans, just because the same thing, you have a young quarterback, you have a good foundation. Dude, Vrabes set a great culture, and that's who was going to be my 2. Is because everybody there they know how to win. They're a good team. I think just this is the product of over time. Eventually, ownership is like, hey, you gotta go. Just the way it is.
It's a
Like, you
performance-based
need-
league.
Right.
What have you done
need
for me lately?
New flow coming in. We need new energy. We need something. I think everybody admits that. Like they're like, Vrabes is a great coach, and I'm almost positive he's going to end up at the Patriots. Like if something does happen to
be
Bill,
a D coordinator.
this is
I think
too
he'll be at
perfect.
least a D coordinator if Bill's
Dude,
there.
this is too perfect for him to go back there. One of the guys that helped build that whole championship run, one of the guys that bought in, one of the guys that you hear about constantly. And Vrabes is without a doubt one of the greatest guys you will ever meet. Like he is a dude's fucking dude, which is why I love him to death. He ran the hardest I've ever seen a guy run. He used to come back and do the conditioning test with us at Ohio State. And Jay, I was wild, man, dude. I was always out drinking and shit. And Vrabes was just like me. And so he would be out too. And I'd be like, there's no way this dude's showing up tomorrow. 6 a.m. there he was running with the DBs. And I was like, no way this guy's going to last this entire time. Just gasser after gasser after sweet. One time, Tress made us touch every stair in the Ohio Stadium. And between every row, you had to go do 5 gassers. And this was the big test before he let us go home for July 4th. That was it. Like, you were just going home for the weekend. He was like, all right, we're going to run to the stadium. You're going to run every stair in the stadium, but between every section, so like bottom section, middle section, upper section, and then the shoe is its own section, you're going to run 5 gassers. And then at the end, you're going to run 5. So Vrabes is running with the DBs, leading the entire charge. I was like, there's no way this guy's going to last. The end of this thing, this dude looked at everybody like, hey, who's fucking running back with me? And I was like, I'll walk back. I could probably walk back with that dude.
Take an Uber. We'll take an Uber.
That's why he's a great leader, because he doesn't lead from above. He leads from in front. And that's how he's always been. Like, he's just that guy. I actually played Vrabes once. He was the meanest son of a bitch I ever played. I mean, meaner than London Fletcher. And London Fletcher was the meanest person I ever met. That's why I love Vrabes. That's the culture that he kind of instills when he goes to places. And going back to the Patriots would be so ideal. I would fuck the DC. Make the man the head coach. Make him the head coach.
I don't have the Patriots as high as you because, man, you want to follow Bill Belichick. Like, you want to step
Perfect guy
in.
to do it.
Oh, man. Like, think about the guys that, like, had to step
Somebody's
in. Like,
got to
Mac
do
Jones.
it too, dude.
I agree. Someone has to do it, but, like, desirable, right? We're talking about desirable jobs here. Like, do you want to be the guy that, like,
pick, don't they?
you want to come in, though? You want to come in and be like, okay. For you, like, every question you're going to have, he's like, what did Bill do? You're going to be compared to Bill. It's like we talked about our first show with Jordan Love this year, where it's like, you know, every single time, like, well, he's got a little Aaron Rodgers in him, Colin Collinsworth voice, where it's just like, I don't know. I don't know if you want to be that guy. Like, I also, like, it'd be so weird to see a different kind of defensive scheme in the Patriots world, like, all of that. And, I mean, in reality, though,
He's the best guy to take it.
I agree. Vrabel would be the guy to take it, but I don't know if he gets hired as a head coach again right away.
He will. I guarantee you.
I don't know. So Patriots. I'll probably go Titans number 2 as well.
Okay. Whoa, wow. So Titans. So Chargers. We're all saying Chargers number 1.
Chargers are 1.
No, excuse me.
Jay
Titans
said
3.
Commanders.
Titans 3.
Jay said Commanders.
Yeah.
I'm saying 2 is Titans. I'll give 3 to the Commanders. 4 for me is the Patriots because they draft 3. What's their cap space?
They have a lot.
You said Patriots.
They have a lot. Yeah, Patriots have a lot.
Third most cap space.
Then they're 3. They're for sure 3. 4 is
the Chargers don't have much cap space though, if I recall. But they have a really talented. They have a really talented.
Yeah, you've got defensive play. Yeah, they're actually right now they're $53 million over the cap in effective cap space. So they've got some cleaning up to do. What about the Falcons?
Kick down the road, boys.
Yep.
That's the first thing you guys got to walk in and say.
Yeah, who wants some signing bonus money up front?
Who cares?
So
who's ready to make a deal?
Falcons have a top 10 pick. They've got some star skill position players. And I would say that ownership group, Arthur Blank, at a couple different times in the last 20 years, has put together good structure, early 2000s, and then again with Shanahan as the offensive coordinator, Dan Quinn, and so I mean they can build something in Atlanta. I would actually go Chargers 1. I think you guys make good points about, even though the Commanders and Patriots are just train wrecks this year, the fact that you have top 3 picks, tons of cap space.
And you can make crazy decisions right away. And people are like, well,
I might put the Falcons.
You got to remember how many picks the Commanders have too. They got rid of Claypool, or not Claypool. They got rid of Chase Young, and they got rid of Sweat for picks,
for number 2
picks. So they're gonna have a lot of they got to draft well, right? But that also comes down to risk of drafting. You know, there's always risk that comes with draft picks, but if they can draft well, they'll be just fine.
One more thing on the Falcons, actually, too. That division right now, I know that
I was just gonna say that it's
like the Panthers are 2-15, the Saints and Buccaneers. I mean, if you come in there, if you're the Falcons, it doesn't take a lot to get to like
anybody
10 or 11
can overtake
wins
that
and
conference for years too. It's always been, dude. If you notice for a while, this is the one that's been like, I don't know.
Well, it was just like what used to be the AFC East.
Yeah.
Right. It was just like someone's got to win it, right? Like,
Dude.
it's like the Patriots have it, and then you had the NFC East too, and like the Cowboys and like the Giants used to backdoor their way into the playoffs with like a 9-7 record every year.
Dude, I'm telling you, the Falcons could easily run that division for a while. I agree that it was a good team. It's just the way that everything ended that whole year just really made me feel weird about that team. But I'll get into it in a minute.
We'll get there. We'll get
Oh, we will get into
We'll
it.
get there. We got a lot of time.
No
today.
love for the Panthers in
No,
this
the
best
Panthers-
opening
no.
conversation.
Just because of ownership, what you're going to deal with when you get there, you're going to be like, listen, I love this guy. And the owner's going to be like, shut up. I own the team. I do what I want. You're going to be like, wait a minute. I thought I was the expert. You're the money guy.
I thought I was all of a sudden drink, bang, side of the face. You're like, oh, I'm sorry.
Dude, is there think about the precedent? So has there ever been, I don't know, we have to Google this, but like, has there ever been a team that drafts a quarterback #1 overall and then 8 months later, the coach and the general manager are both fired? I mean, think about how insane
Cleveland,
that is.
maybe.
Yeah, Cleveland would be the only other franchise
Probably
that
Cleveland,
would somehow have done that.
Hey, they're in the playoffs. Laugh all you
I know.
want.
Dude,
Hey,
and they're
listen.
dangerous.
Joe Flacco's waking up in the morning, just taking all his pills out of his little boxes, right? It's
I just got to
Tuesday.
get them all. Got to get my Centrum Silver. Fucking Joe Flacco. Hate that guy.
No,
Still
I mean,
hate
you
him for being
can't. I mean, the Panthers are, dude, they're in a lot of trouble.
Oh,
They don't have any picks, right? You traded all your picks away for DJ Moore.
#1 pick. Get rid of it.
And you have cap space, but not enough to really, in my opinion, make a difference. And so your draft picks, they haven't really hit, right? Ike Ngakoue was their first round pick, their left tackle. He had a really tough year. He was this year. Bryce Young obviously had a really tough year. Adam Thielen was your wide receiver 1 at 80 years old, right? Like, couldn't tell you. Brian Burns is your defensive guy. Sean, I think it's Lavuhu. Like, he's a good linebacker, but they just don't have the star power, and in my opinion, they don't have the veteran leadership on that team to really find a way to turn it around. Now, you can go buy some dudes in free agency, but if I'm a free agent,
Oh, yeah, you're
there's
looking
a
at that.
premium.
And
There's
there's
a
no
premium.
draft capital, dude.
You
Like,
want me to come play for you in Carolina? Well, I know I'm not winning the Super Bowl. I know I'm not getting a playoff check. So if Cincinnati's going to offer me $13 million a year, well, it's going to be a minimum 15 or 16 for you to pick me up, right? And that's what Carolina's going to have to fight this year. Is there's a premium, right? It used to be like the Bill Belichick tax or like the Detroit tax. Like, it was, hey, if you want me to come here, you got to pay me more because I know this is a train wreck. I know what kind of practices you guys run. Like, there is definitely levels to free agency. And Boone, you could probably speak to this when you had teams in free agency where it's like, hey, you want to go there? It's like, for the right price, I want to go there. Versus like if you wanted to go chase a ring and go places, like that's a very real thing.
Yeah, no, I agree. And to be fair, thankfully, all the teams that were in on me at the time were playoff bound. So it was like, this is going to be a lot of fun. And it coming from Frisco at the year that we were like 2-14. What are you talking about? It came off a terrible year, dude. I was like, God,
Sensitive
this is.
thing.
I know, it was so bad. It was tough. Can I get into my mic yet? Or
yeah,
are
who's your mic? New mic.
Dude, I never thought I would do this. I never thought this guy would be my mic, but I am so excited. I'm excited because of the reactions that I'm getting from everybody online. Hilarious. Can I just say that #1, Arthur Smith, you're a real pussy. Like, dude, they score on the last play and you go start a fight on the 50-yard line at the logo. Dude, Dennis Allen was like, bro, I got it. Like, you're mad. And he was like, no, you don't understand. I'm really mad. And he was like, I got it. You're fucking mad. Get over it. Like, what do you want me to do? But the fact that they called a touchdown on that play made me laugh so hard. And now the fact that everyone's coming out and is like, you know what? Fuck Atlanta. That dude's the best. Jameis Winston, good for you for calling that shit. Like, that's your boy. And Jameis Winston, did you see the interview?
It's the
It's
weirdest.
amazing, dude. He's literally like, I'm trying to be as respectable. I am.
It
being as
couldn't happen to a
respectable as I
better
can be.
person.
Dude.
It couldn't happen. Like, as soon as I saw it was Jameis, I was like, oh, this is going to be an absolute shit show.
But dude, have you seen everybody coming out talking about Jameis? They're like, literally like, this dude is one of the greatest guys ever. They're like, he is one of the coolest dudes. Like, dude, get off his ass. And clearly it was an offensive decision. Like, somebody in that huddle must have said something like, hey, let's just hand the ball to Jamal. Like, let's just do it.
I promise you on my life that it was
But
that dude's
somebody
move.
else
Like,
had to co-sign it. Somebody big in that huddle had to go, let's do it. Like no one just goes out there and goes, hey, I'm going to hand the ball. And the O-line had to be like, all right, we're in on it. Because it's literally victory. I'm not stepping anywhere. I'm literally stepping down and I'm done. So for me to drive somebody off the ball, you're going to have to really convince me to want to do this. And that's why I'm saying like this whole scenario was just incredible. And then the fact that every single fan was like, how dare you score points in a football game? How dare you? Made me laugh so hard.
Why are people so sensitive over who
Exactly.
cares?
What is it
No.
your goddamn business?
Right.
And
I'm
here's
going to fight
another
you
thing.
on this.
I hope
Really?
you do.
Oh, okay.
Here's another
A
Ding
little bit.
sensitive.
I'm going to fight
Ding
you a little bit
Ding
on this.
sensitive.
I'm going to fight you a
Here
little
we
bit
go.
on
You
this.
ready?
Ding.
I have no problem, zero problem whatsoever with them lining up and running a play. But why would you
Out of
do it out of
victory?
victory
Out of
formation?
victory. Okay.
I
was
have
kinda my
no
thing, too.
I have
Okay,
no problem.
yeah,
You
yeah.
want to score a touchdown? Sweet. Trips left, 42 zone, right? No problem. Run a fucking play. But
Yeah.
to do it out of victory is chicken shit.
That was the
chicken
only thing-
That's
that was the only-
chicken
I know.
shit for me.
I didn't
Like
know
if
if you were
you
gonna
if
bring
you're
that
gonna line up in victory, because how many times, Boone, flip it on the
Oh,
other side,
you're
flip it
done.
on the other side.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
line
they
up in
ask you.
victory formation, and they're like, "Hey, you taking a knee?" And you're like, "Yep, we're good." And then a D lineman tees off on you, and you're like, like you get so pissed, like the game is over, right? And they're like, "Nope, game's not over. It's still football, right?" That used to happen all the time, and then you're just like, "Okay, sure, asshole." And so now you flip it on the other side, where you line up in victory, you're getting your teeth kicked in. It's the last game of the season. You're already thinking about your Bahama vacation with your wife in the bikini, and you're like, "Oh, it's going to be great." And then all of a sudden, you're getting just dive right through the middle.
Like yard.
But don't just line up and run a play then. Just
I agree.
line
Okay.
up and run a play. Listen, I don't care. I agree with you. If you don't want him to score,
Yeah,
don't score. Play better defense. But don't hide behind victory formation and some chicken shit and then be like, "Well, we just called a
Do you
play."
think-
It's like,
let me
no,
ask
you
you this.
didn't.
So
no,
play
you
clock-
didn't. You lined up and you were like, "Just we're gonna tease him and we're gonna fight him and then I'm just gonna hand it to the guy here." Like that. That for me was, and also like, I wish I could be in the mind of Dennis Allen as that happened and be like, "What the fuck is going on? Like, did I not just call victory formation? Did they fumble?" Like, and then all of a sudden you're like, "Oh, well, game's over." And then you walk across and there's Arthur Smith. There's like, you're like, "Oh, this is not gonna be good."
Dude, and
It's like
Jameis
that,
after the
hey.
game, Jameis is like, listen, it was a team decision. I do feel bad for DA. I do feel bad for DA, but it was a team decision. I do apologize.
I loved it.
I do
I
apologize.
thought
to
it was
DA.
a great ending to the AFC South. Like that's the best
N-
way that defended-
NFC,
South, yeah,
NFC
NFC,
South.
sorry, dude. I loved it. I'm sorry. I thought it was.
Do you
and
think
then-
it came up? So there's 40 seconds on the play clock, 25 seconds, whatever, and there. So Jameis says, "Screw this, we're running the ball."
Well, I
Do you
just
think-
wanna know why.
Do you think
Like-
anyone pushed back a little and said, then let's not do it out of victory, or it was like, guys, we got to go now. There's 15 seconds left.
No, I think
Yeah,
that's probably what happened.
I think you walked in. He's like, "Hey, should we get Williams a touchdown?" And they're like, "Yeah." He's like, "All right, victory, but we're handing it off. Ready, break." And I was like, "Oh, the fuck!" And like just ran up to the line of scrimmage, right? Like that's exactly how that happened.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah, Jay's not wrong because if somebody would have said that to me, I'd be like, "Okay, here we go." Wait,
Because, dude, you don't want to get you don't want to delay a game on the last play of the game. You just look like an asshole, right? So you're just like, okay, on one.
Would you guys? So Shannon Sharp came out on his podcast or on ESPN, whatever platform he was on, and he said that I think it was Shannon Sharp. If it's not Shannon Sharp, I just did a drive-by of Shannon Sharp for no reason. That Jameis should be cut. That you should cut him for like insubordination and
I
doing
think
what
you
he
should
did.
find him conduct detrimental. You have, dude. Listen, even as much as we love it, and I agree with Boone, I love it. You want to score, fine. Don't let him score. You cannot publicly
Yeah,
throw your head coach and say, "I don't listen to you. I do what Jameis wants." Right? Like that's what he basically said to the world. Is like, we just overruled our head coach. Like we told him, like, yeah, your suggestions are cute, but we make the ultimate decision. And you're the backup quarterback.
Yeah.
Like you're not even the starter. Like you have to find him. You might have to cut him because insubordination, those roots, those things run deep now, right? And you just need like it's a very sticky situation for Dennis Allen to be in. I think you probably have to either find him conduct detrimental and take a bunch of his money and be like, this is unacceptable. We don't do this in this organization. I am the front piece, like, and come out and get in front of it. Or you just cut him and be like, we don't do that. You can't just let this slide.
Or
This
do you
is not
fire
something
Dennis
you can
Allen?
just.
Do you
you
fire
can't-
Dennis
yeah,
Allen
or you
when
just-
he leaves in the
no.
locker room?
Oh, man. But that's kind of what that
Hey, I
meant.
know your quarterback threw you under the bus, but get your shit. And go.
You're fired.
All right,
You
listen.
lost the locker room guy. Sorry.
Boone,
I found the
you
whole
gotta take.
situ-
I'm listening. I'm getting more coffee because it's
You're fine,
freaking
you're fine.
early.
Listen.
I'm listening to you.
That's
guys, I
earlier
promise,
for
but I'm
us than
getting
it
more
is for
coffee.
you.
I don't care, Maggie.
Dude, it's
I'm working.
5:30.
He's on Eastern time. This guy.
I will say this. I thought the situation was hilarious. That's why I mic'd him. Like, just the whole situation, the way he handled it. But Jay's right. As much as I might laugh at somebody else's expense, and this one is a little bit kind of silly, it's going to be very bad the way this ends because Jay's right. And you kind of just brought it up too. If I'm the owner, I'm starting to already think like, has this dude lost the locker room?
So I know.
I've never seen insubordination like this. Like, yeah, dude. And it was funny because being an O-lineman, it's like, finally, they just took somebody off guard and like did something. Like, it was just, it seemed harmless to me. But the more we talk about it, the more I'm like, oh shit, he's definitely getting cut because you can't do that. If the one guy ruling everything says, hey, take a knee, you take a knee. And I get what they did, and I get why everybody was excited, and I get why everyone's like, get off his ass. This was a team decision. But you're right. Now it's making it look even worse because it's like, yeah, all 11 guys in the huddle didn't want to believe in the head man. And now it's like, oh, God, it's getting worse. And I never really thought about it like that. But yeah, dude, Shannon's right. You're going to have to cut him. You're going to have to bring him in and tell him straight to his face, like, you did something really bad. And now you start to look at the rest of his career, and it's like, see, sometimes, and this is why I was always bad at making decisions sometimes, and I always leaned on my agent because I would have been like, I was kind of like Jameis, like, what's wrong? He just scored a touchdown, but the more you think about it, the more you're like, I don't know.
And listen, if I would have
handled it
had
like
if I would have had a client on the Saints O-line, I'd have been like, you walk up to your head coach and you fucking apologize.
or you tell me you had nothing to do with it.
You'd be like,
tell me you
listen,
had nothing to do with it.
I had
took a
nothing to
knee."
do with this. Like, I didn't know what was going on. Like, because if you're not a guy, that's what I mean. Like, Jameis is a backup, right? Like, if it's Derek Carr, if it's Alvin Kamara, like, dude, if you're not a guy, you are expendable. Like, and you are always being
Sad.
looked to
Yeah, I
be
never thought about
replaced.
that.
And this could be the reason they're just be like, oh, this dude, just get him out. We'll find someone else that can stand there. Right, like, I don't know. I think this could actually get really ugly for Jameis.
I do too. Now that I'm thinking about it,
and knowing Jameis, I could see him coming out publicly and turning this into a problem for Dennis Allen.
Yeah,
Like,
he's
dude,
not.
just
He's
eat it
not
and move
good
on.
enough. Like, there's a chance that he might not play in the NFL again. Is that a hot take? I don't. I think there's a
I
chance
think he'll be a
he
backup.
might not play in the
He'll be
NFL.
a
He'll be a
backup,
backup.
Is he
never
good
gonna
enough
be-
to? Is he good
He's
enough
never
to
going to be
overcome
the guy.
this type of
He's
thing?
never going to be the guy again.
Well, that's
but this goes back to what you and I don't know if we've talked. I'm sure we've talked about on the show, the scales of power that be in the NFL, right? As long as your on-field performance, I can't do it because I have a mic in my hand, but as long as your on-field performance is above your off-field shenanigans, you're fine.
It's what I
Jameis
called
is
in
starting
sports,
to flirt.
It's the talent to baggage ratio.
Yes.
in sports. Yeah, you know.
Jameis is starting to flirt with that off-field performance nonsense,
But Jay-
overruling his play.
Mackey makes up a great point. If I'm ownership, I'm starting to look at this like, has he lost the team? And has this dude just created almost kind of like something? And then all of a sudden I'm the next team and I'm like, do I want to bring this in? He didn't listen last time. That's why I'm saying this is, and I don't think about these kind of things. Like, in the moment you're a football player and you're like, yeah, you like that, right? But then you turn around and that's when you would have walked to the locker room. And in the moment I probably have been like, we're in a lot of trouble. Dudes, we shouldn't have done that. We should not have.
Dude, what do you think that post-game speech was like? You just steamrolled your division rival. And like, I just imagine like everyone taking their tape off like really quietly. Like no one's really talking because everyone's like, I think we're in trouble. And then Dennis Allen walks in, everybody up. And you're like, oh, God, yep, we're in trouble. Yep, but it's time to we're going to wear this one on the chin.
DA took it really well, though. Can I just say that? Like, the fact that Arthur Smith was going crazy and DA was like, I know. Like, in his mind, he had to be like, I'm going to kill everybody. I know, dude. I know. Yeah. He literally just kept saying, I know. Like, I'm going to handle it. Lock the doors. Lock them. When you heard that, you were like, hey, put your helmet back on. Shit's going to be flying.
Dude, when they walk in, lock the doors, cameras down. Because, like, all the team cameras are in there. Like, hey, lock the door. No cameras. Cameras down. You're like, oh, this is going to be bad.
We're not putting this up on the Saints YouTube channel.
Nobody wants
this isn't the Who's Got It Better Than Us chant.
No.
Dude, I'm telling you right now. Hey, that's going to be my next mic.
Hold on.
I'll let
mic.
you go first, though.
New mic.
My mic?
Your mic.
All right. My mic. I'm just going to bring this up because I think it's a hilarious story. Wink Martindale is AWOL from the New York Giants.
I love it. I love it.
And the stories that keep coming out of New York's media are wild.
They are wild.
Right? Like I was
reading up on it last night.
I went down a deep rabbit hole laying in bed last night. Right? Like it went from, I think after Black Friday, right? They fired the O-line coach in New York. They fired the special teams coordinator. Like they fired all these guys, and then like 5 to 6 hours later, you get an alert that's like Wink Martindale has resigned his position as defensive coordinator. And you're like, well, okay, that's kind of weird. Like, I don't know why you just resign, because as a coach, you never just resign because you always have guaranteed money, right? So you basically make them fire you, right? Like, no, you just fire me because I want my guarantees. And then the next day, it comes out where the Giants have like, well, he has not officially resigned. We have not officially fired him, but we can't get a hold of him.
Dude,
and everyone's like, wait,
He's turned into a player.
The start to the New York Post story is like the first two paragraphs. So it says, if Wink Martindale has resigned his position as the Giants defensive coordinator, he is advised to notify the Giants of this decision. As of Tuesday morning, the team had not heard anything from Wink Martindale, who stormed out of the building on Monday and Tuesday morning was on a flight headed back home to Florida.
Yeah, dude, and that's the best part is like someone like took pictures of him at the airport. Like it looked like he went straight from work. Like he still had his blue vest on, his white hat, his angry red face, and like and he was just at like heading home to Sarasota, baby. Like, and for people that are like, well, yeah, season's over. That's not how it works for coaches. Like, no. Like season ends. Like we talked about the abruptness for players, right? Like they kick the players out and they're like, see you in April. And then it is deep into, okay, what are we doing in the draft? Who are we keeping in free agency? Like self-scouting, like all of this. And so for a defensive coordinator to just go literally AWOL is wild. And then the story comes out that him and Dable got in a screaming match on Monday. Yeah. And then it's like they got in a screaming match. And apparently there's been some bad blood between those two guys since
throughout the season.
Like Thanksgiving time with the Cowboys first. The Cowboys' second game where apparently Dable had approached Wink about, hey, Tommy DeVito's our starting quarterback. We need to be a little different in the approach in which we do things. Like maybe don't gamble as much because we need to make them drive, keep things in front of you. And Wink was like, cool, and didn't do it. And then like you saw like Dable and him at halftime walking in like because Dable's a very animated person, Wink's a very animated person.
Oh yeah.
And I think from there, I think everything just kind of started to fray and fizzle. And so I don't know what was said. I don't think anyone does. Like, but this is like Game of Thrones, like behind the scenes, like stuff going on. And apparently Wink and Dable had a huge blow up on Monday. The report is Wink slammed the door as they yelled at each other on the way out and was like, I'm going home to Florida.
Okay, obvious dumb question. So if midway through the season, head coach is pissed at defensive coordinator for insubordination or not following, his vision for the game plan, and then exit interview discussion, there's a blow up, why doesn't head coach and front office just fire defensive coordinator? Why like that's where I'm tripped up on this. Why just get a new defensive coordinator?
There's got to be a reason, and I don't know. This is what I mean. Like, there's behind the scenes things at work here that none of us know about. Because the easy answer is, fire him, hire someone else, right? But maybe it's an owner decision. Maybe it's a Joe Sheen decision. Like, there's a lot of people that have to go in. I don't think Dable has enough control of that organization at the moment to just be like, fire him, fire him, fire him. Right. And I think because he's like, I still want to keep my job. So maybe it's Joe Sheen saying like, no, we want Wink back. Maybe it's a bunch of players that were like, hey, we're only coming back here if Wink's back. Right. There's a lot of situations and a lot of like things that go into navigating this. But yeah, I honestly think at the end of the day, it's going to end with the Giants eventually just firing Wink Martindale, paying him his $3 million and heading on his way. But this is just like classic week after the season drama where you're just like, oh yeah, baby, here we go. Grab my popcorn and let's just follow. Let's follow the flight tracker from Sarasota to the Giants to see who's coming back.
I just found there's these New York Post photos of him at the airports. He always wears like the Under Armour or like the white undershirt, long shirt with his vest. He's literally walking through the airport with a coffee in his defensive coordinator outfit.
Dude, it looks like he went straight from work. Like, I don't think he went home. I think he got pissed off at work. He got in his car and he pulled up his Delta app and was like, Sarasota, bing, and just drove straight to the airport.
Dude, hey, have you ever seen those movies? And I think
Left his car parked in the front, so they just tow it away.
yeah, tow it, tosses him the keys. Like, I'm out. I'm never coming back to this
Keep
hellhole. They owe me $3 million. I'll pay you. And that could be a decision, but I think Jay brings up an even better one. Is the players may have came in and been like, "Listen, Wink's our dude. Wink stays or I'm gone." Like, that becomes tough when the players are asking for that. But after the season, Jay's right. And I think in The Wolf of Wall Street, there's a big scene where everyone's just shredding papers and like burning shit. That's literally what the Monday looks like. And then it's crazy because when you go upstairs, you just see them shredding everything. They're like, well, that was a waste. Shh. And then literally they kick you out. And like Jay said, they just turn right around and they're like, all right, next year, let's start game planning. Like it's insane, dude.
Can you see this? No, this is the wrong.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
Look at him.
Dude,
Yeah.
no luggage. No luggage.
That first
just a
one looks like he's
backpack.
walking into a game. Yeah. Dude, are those the Kobe's? Is he wearing Kobe's?
Oh, dude, he's
Can you
just
zoom
like,
in on that?
I'm going home. I'm not
I
doing
can't
this.
zoom in.
I'm not doing this.
Oh, man.
Oh,
Love it.
so funny.
So all right, new Mike Booney, who's your? Let's do one more Mike here, and then we got to get to our picks. We got super wild card weekend. We got Fat Guy Fantasy dumb football questions.
All right, I'm gonna do it. I can't believe I'm actually gonna say this, but my next Mike's gonna have to be Harbaugh, dude. Just because. Did you see his press conference after the game? We're innocent. We're innocent.
Yep.
The guy asked him, he goes, "Hey, dude, the season probably didn't go the way you expected." He was like, "Went exactly the way I wanted it. We're innocent. We're innocent." Like, I'm telling you, if he gets a hold of one of these teams, you better watch out because he's on fire right now. If you ever really looked at his resume too, everywhere he goes, it always San Diego State. Like, we knew about it when he came to us. They were talking about how he just goes into a place and changes the culture, and you're like, and at first you're kind of like, I don't know how he could change the culture of grown men, but okay. And like 6 months later, you're like, wow, it's insane how fast you buy on board. I'm telling you right now, there isn't any comment. And if I had to speculate, I would say he's gone. Why? Because he is a very, very competitive person. And his brother right now is number one front runner walking into the Super Bowl for the AFC. And I feel like Jim is like, hey, you know what? There's no way I'm going to let John get two. And me only have one here. I got to go up to the next level and go compete with him. Like, that's just how he is. He's very ultra competitive. I'm telling you, dude. And plus, like we talked about before, you can keep talking about all the leverage you want. He has all the leverage. Guys, I'm doing it. Every day I'm in here, I'm doing it. I'm changing the culture at Michigan. If he turned around and said, I want $200 million, they'd go, okay. He doesn't have to leverage a team against it. He could just say, hey, I want more. And after 125, what are you really asking for, dude? Like, do you want to be the president of the school too? That's why, in my opinion, it's more like, hey, listen, I really love you guys, and I love what we did here. Sharon's time to take over. I'm bouncing out of here. Like, that's why I'm like, man, if I were him, I would have signed it already. I'd have been like, yeah, I'm here. I'm committed. You want everybody to know I'm committed to this. You want the recruits to know. You need the next year's class to know. These kids always need to know that you're bought in. So for him to be like, I'm just going to enjoy this. It's Jim's way of deflecting. Hey, I'm just here to have fun.
Yeah,
we're not talking business. He's always good at deflecting, and that's
he doesn't care about like these. Dude, 2 years ago when he spent like 9 or 10 hours interviewing for the Vikings job before they hired O'Connell, that was on National Signing Day. He doesn't care. Yeah. National Signing Day, like he has his own schedule. He has his own drumbeat. Mm-hmm. By the way, he is the clear odds-on favorite according to various like odds makers to be the Chargers' next head coach. So there's a 68% implied probability he's the next Chargers head coach. Like Ben Johnson is like 17%, Bill Belichick 14%.
He's used to San Diego, and that's a very familiar place for him. That's why it would not be weird for him to go down there.
What about Los Angeles? Is he used to Los Angeles, which is where the Chargers are now?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I mean, the whole LA San Diego scene is the same.
He could vacation and
drive down the road
from San Diego.
Take the 5.
Same old place. Have you ever been down there? It's all the same down there. Gorgeous.
It's just
LA
82
sucks,
degrees.
You couldn't pay me to live in LA.
What if you could just take the weather?
No,
Yeah, that's what I'm
and
saying.
not the traffic,
no.
the taxes.
You don't get one of these. You pay for your sunshine out there. 13.1%.
Oh, we
It
paid. We
is
paid.
weird.
We paid
sunshine.
heavily. We paid
Yeah,
heavily.
that's
for
what I
that
tell people
sun.
all the time. Like, I remember I got my first check in San
Hey.
Diego. I was like, "What the hell is this?" They go, "That's the sunshine tax. That's the
But
you
you
pay
forget-
to live here."
Dude, you forget how good you felt every day. You didn't wake up in a rainy, snowy, icy where you're like, my fingers hurt.
I hated it. I
Yeah,
hated
Jay,
it.
you're paying $40 a month for your vitamin D supplement.
Yeah.
You get it by walking outside in California.
I got one more, Mike, and we
Let me
don't
hear
have
it.
to labor the point too much. I think it's just really been a very entertaining saga to watch over the course of the last, call it a year. The Aaron Rodgers thing on Pat McAfee just is getting out of hand. Like, he's entertaining, and everyone knows at this point, Aaron's like your 80-year-old grandpa that just like sits at the back of the party and says outlandish, outrageous things. And some may be true, some may not be true, but you're just like, what? What's
Yeah.
wrong with you?
Dude.
Right? And now it's got to the point where like him and the Saturday Night Live guy,
Jimmy
or the
Kimmel,
Night Show.
No,
who
it's
is it?
the no.
It's
he's well. He was Man Show with Adam Carolla in the '90s, and he's doing
Yeah.
the
Late Show.
the
Sorry,
Jimmy
I don't
Kimmel
watch.
show. Yeah.
I don't watch any of that nonsense. Him and Jimmy Kimmel are at war over Epstein Island. Just how absurd is that statement that I just said?
Yeah,
Aaron
by the way,
Rodgers,
on ESPN,
starting
I
quarterback
know.
for the Jets, Kimmel, late night talk show host, are at war over Epstein's Island on Pat McAfee ESPN show. What is happening?
Dude, the
like, it's just
craziest
the most
thing-
absurd thing to follow. And like once Kimmel clapped back, because like everyone kind of agreed, like, oh, Aaron just says things, right? He calls Kelsey Mr. Pfizer and he hates Big Pharma and all that stuff. But as soon as Kimmel clapped back, I was like,
He's
like,
pissed.
Aaron's not just going to take this laying down. Like, Aaron's not just
He's
going to like,
too
oh,
big
he's
he's too big of a
not gonna happen.
narcissist to just let
Dude.
something go or ever admit that he was wrong about. Have you ever
It's-
heard Aaron Rodgers admit that he was wrong about something?
This is going to get ugly. It's going to get so bad.
And the message is, imagine like, so Jay and I are having a war on the podcast, and I say, you know what, Jay's going to be pretty nervous because I heard he was on Epstein Island or whatever, right? And Jay comes back vehemently and says, I will sue you. That is a clear smearing
Yes.
of my name. I will sue you. And then I come back narcissistically and say, I wouldn't have said it without some evidence.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, cryptic, like, what is he doing? And then he's
Dude,
talking
apparently,
about,
apparently, Aaron's got the in with the government on these Epstein lists. I mean, he's
Aaron's
got
the in with
Aaron's
a lot
got
of
a
different
guy.
things, apparently.
He's got a
Yeah.
guy.
Aaron, you know what
guy.
Aaron has? Aaron has a YouTube channel that he probably sits and watches all day, conspiracy theories and whatever. He's like,
For sure.
nobody else.
Well, the problem is too, and McAfee is now fighting his executive. So like, there's a massive war being started on McAfee's show, and you're like, wait a minute, he's fighting him, and he's fighting Jimmy Kimmel. Why is he fighting? It's a great point. Why are you fighting Jimmy Kimmel, dude? Like, what are you doing, Jimmy Kimmel? What are you even, dude? Stop it. You're right. You've got an NFL football player and a talk show host fighting about something that is like, and it's being brought into. Could you imagine being in that locker room? Oh my God.
Well, then Aaron gets up at the podium for the exit interview with the
Yes.
Jets, and with a straight face says, the biggest thing here is anything that doesn't have to do with winning, we got to get that shit out of the locker room right now. It's like,
or your weekly updates with Pat McAfee. Like,
yeah.
I mean,
This is why
think
current
Pat's paying
players
him-
shouldn't
I think
do
Pat's.
podcasts.
I think Pat's paying him a small fortune.
Oh,
Like,
he's
I
paying
think-
seven
I think-
figures.
Yeah, I think Pat's paying him a small fortune to come on because I mean the amount of clicks and likes and stuff that he generates from having Aaron Rodgers on, and then having Grandpa Rodgers say outlandish things, like
In his wine room.
yeah. I mean, it is absurd. It is absolutely absurd. And I'm not picking a side here. I just the popcorn
Oh, no.
and watching it, and then like to have come right around and McAfee being like ESPN is sabotaging me. It's like, dude, didn't we see this movie before with Barstool? Like, didn't this exact same thing happen with Barstool? Like, you felt sabotaged. You felt like, and then Portnoy came out. Like, there's a common denominator here, dude. Like,
But a couple things
you're
off
just
this,
kind of
right?
outlandish, and I love your show. I think it's great, but you have to understand, like, you're never going to be everyone's acquired taste ever. Like, that's just his nature of his podcast.
But this is the beauty of it. No matter what, this is a huge win for McAfee because even if this, just like it was for Barstool got one episode, pardon my take, in a van, basically, right? Got one episode, and then the fallout from the partnership exploding, I think, elevated Barstool to a new level. no matter what, McAfee comes out of this with a bigger audience, more awareness if they cut ties. But if you were ESPN, what were you expecting to happen?
Right.
You're bringing in, and it's this. You're right. It's the same thing as Barstool. It's like, let's bring this is a popular young digital show. We need to get more YouTube friendly, right? Let's bring this partnership in. And the danger for ESPN is so McAfee called out this. Is it Norby Williamson, one of the top
execs
for 20 years? He's been one of their top shadow executives.
No big deal. Just call your top guy.
You don't hear Scott Van Pelt, and you don't hear some of these other guys. Mike Greenberg. They're not calling this guy out because they are employees of ESPN. Their contract can be terminated, and so can Pat McAfee's. But Pat McAfee, it's a renting and leasing situation.
He's his own entity.
So if he leaves, he'll get picked up so fast.
He owns all his own IP. He owns all his own IP.
Which is why the OLine Committee is going to blow up too, because we own our own IP. So
Damn
next
right.
time when
Put your
ESPN
stamp on
approaches
it.
us, yeah, dude.
Dude, the
just
best.
a
Did you see
freaking
McAfee
crazy.
almost drop an F-bomb on game day?
Oh, did he?
Oh, dude, he hadn't done game day in a while. It was right. I was on. What was it? The week before. It was on the first championship weekend, the Rose Bowl, and he was up there. He's like talking about someone from I can't remember Florida State or something. He's like, oh yeah, that freaking guy, and he's like, oh, I'm sorry, I haven't been here in a while. I haven't been here in a while.
It's hard,
amazing,
dude.
man.
It is hard.
Yeah, if you're on the Aaron Rodgers Jets front, just from a football perspective,
Wrap it up, Mac. What do we got?
that first year
Put a bow on it.
couldn't have been more of a train wreck, right? Like he tears his Achilles right away. The offensive line is still a mess. It's a circus off the field. You can tell he's now, based on what he said at the podium about, we got to clean up anything that doesn't have to do with winning. It's like, well, dude, look in the mirror. But he's clearly pissed about chemistry and distractions and everything else. Is there any way this thing just snaps back into place in year 2? Or is this just destined for a complete and utter train wreck for the Jets? Are they going to bounce back and win 11 games and make a playoff run?
They have the talent to do it. They have the talent, and I think, anytime you put a triggerman back there, if Aaron can recover fully from this Achilles in not 6 weeks, I think that he'll be fine. I think this team will be competitive. They're too talented to not be competitive all over, and Aaron's too good of a quarterback. I think he probably tones down some of the off-field stuff because he understands, what it is. So I think he probably tones down some of the off-field stuff next year if he's healthy and he's on the field, and I don't think it's a Super Bowl contending team, but I think it's probably a playoff contending team.
Fair.
Okay.
You picked them to win the Super Bowl earlier in the year, Alex. So be careful now.
They had Aaron Rodgers. What do you want me to do? I was like, dude, I'm all about his great defense. I got Aaron Rodgers. Sounds amazing. Do I want to know what happens in the next 6 months? I sure do before I make a decision. You're in the New York media, and I want to see what happens with this Jimmy Kimmel thing. Dude, I'm just like you. I'm popcorn all day waiting to see what happens. Who's going to go next?
I hope Rodgers crashes a Kimmel episode.
Dude, that would be...
Hey! And just throw something at him from the audience.
buys a ticket. Buys a ticket. I will say, I actually disagree. You said that you think he's going to tone down some of I actually think he values the platform more than the actual winning at this point. So
that's interesting.
He's such a narcissist. I mean, literally, I asked you, have you, in 20 years, has he ever admitted that he's wrong about something? Has he ever said, you know what, that was my fault? Everything is always somebody else's fault. Everything is a fight. Everything is a broken relationship. In his life, he has a broken relationship with his parents, with his siblings. He literally doesn't speak to anyone. Every 2 years, he's got a new girlfriend, broken up, right? It's a trail of narcissistic, broken relationships.
Leo's the same way. Once they're 25, he just kicks them to the curb. So maybe he's just trying to be like Leo. He's trying to be like Leo DiCaprio, baby. Oh, you're 25, honey. Too old. Time to move on.
Leo's going to be... George Clooney has been like that in this town, too. I guess when you got options, I guess you...
The elites, man. The elites.
So, Fat Guy Fantasy time, boys.
Yes.
Here we go.
Your Fat Guy
Drum roll,
Fantasy
please.
update. Okay.
Drum roll.
Come on now.
The next thing I flash on the YouTube channel screen here is going to be the final tally for the season. The last update we had was halfway through the season because it takes me forever to tally these up, right?
The winner's getting a steak and a beer by the other two, right? Isn't that what we decided?
Yep. Steak and a beer.
Mooney, who do you think? Jay thinks he wins.
I think I won.
Mooney,
I had a surmountable lead halfway through the year.
I don't know, man.
You had a trash can lead.
Yeah, but you know what? I don't know. I have no idea. Show me. Show
All
me.
right, drum roll. Drum roll here. Drum roll.
I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous.
Jeremiah wins.
Oh,
Fantasy
my
championship.
I want
By
to
a
recount. I want to
mile,
recount.
boys.
No,
I want
a
to recount.
This does not come close enough to qualify for a recount, unfortunately.
I wanna recount.
This is utter domination, fellas.
So here's how we do this for the audience that's maybe just ducking in, like, what the hell is Fat Guy Fantasy? We invented something that's going to blow up and make us all billionaires here, we think. It's called Fat Guy Fantasy Football, where we, at the beginning of the season, we drafted exclusively lineups of offensive and defensive linemen. So we all took 6 offensive linemen and I believe 6 or 7 defensive linemen, and then a team offensive line and a team defensive line. And the scoring was based on pressures allowed, generated, sacks allowed, generated, fumbles forced, and then for the team, it was basically rushing touchdowns and rushing yards and all those things. So Jeremiah, 804 points on the season. Congratulations. I had 613. Booney had 534. Let's call out some highlighted performances on the winning team.
I would
Jeremiah
love
Sirles.
to know how this happened.
I had the 49ers run game, and I had the 49ers defense.
The 49ers run game generated 27
McCaffrey was a
rushing
beast.
touchdowns for you.
Yes.
The 49ers run stopping game held opponents to only 10 touchdowns. How about this, by the way, on the defensive side? So Jeremiah had Nick Bosa with 95 pressures, 14 sacks. Max Crosby, 94 pressures, 15 sacks. Aiden Hutchinson, 101 pressures, 11 sacks, 14 TFLs. Max Crosby had 23 TFLs, by the way. It's ridiculous.
Chargers, Raiders, if you're listening and you need your next GM, I'm only a phone call away.
He's really
Listen, I'm
just
only a
waiting,
phone call
dude.
away. I'm just a phone call away.
just sitting here waiting. On Team Boone, so Team Boone got its ass kicked, but I do want to highlight Trent Williams, who will be a first ballot Hall of Famer, unquestionably. Trent Williams did not allow a sack all season for the 49ers, according to Pro Football.
So I am wondering how I came in last. I'm confused.
Yeah. So on defense, the problem for you was, and this is where we have to make some tweaks for next year. We need to find a way to, like, if one of your players gets hurt.
Yeah,
and
that's
like,
a big one.
Like Matthew
and we have to be able to
Judon got
redraft.
hurt
We have to be able to
for
like redraft, like pick up the waiver wire, right? The waiver wire needs to be a thing.
For you, Booney, on defense, like Quinnen Williams only had 6 sacks. Dexter Lawrence only had 6 sacks. You got smoked a little bit by the Jets' defensive line. They
I was
just
going to
gave
say.
a lot of rushing yards.
Yeah.
For me, for my defense, Micah Parsons had 103 pressures and 16 sacks. T.J. Watt had 17 and a half sacks.
Rip.
Daniil Hunter had 23 TFLs, but not good enough. So congratulations to Jeremiah, the first annual.
I'm not clapping for that.
Fat
You
Guy
about
Fantasy
you
Football
about me as your
champion. Why
champion.
respect your champion?
Yeah, respect
Your champion.
You know, I'm gonna respect that. I'm gonna respect that steak at Harry and Izzy's. That's what I'm gonna respect.
Ooh, we'll see.
So you guys want to make some
Can you
picks
get a
here?
board? Can you get a board, please, Mackie?
I know.
Like,
I'm gonna
I know.
add it.
Just put it on the list. Listen, we'll pay for it.
Hold on.
We'll put it on
you'll
the company.
pay- you'll pay
we'll put
for
it on
my-
the company
for
card.
my
We'll put it on the
whiteboard?
company card. I want a whiteboard right in the back there,
Listen,
right next
Brute's
to your
got an extra
wall
whiteboard.
art.
I'll give it to you.
I
You
want
can
whatever's
have it.
next to your wall art behind you that your wife put up, and I want a steak and a beer tally. I just want it.
we'll make it
I want a
happen.
running tally that we can just constantly look at, and you just turn around and put a little mark next to my name every time.
I think the first one is the one that you owe me for the Gophers beating Nebraska.
That was the first steak and a beer
Tinted
bet
Lake
that I
Stadium,
made. Yep.
It's great. So okay, let's make some picks here, boys.
Picks.
We've got super wild card weekend. Games spanning across 3 days. We got the Monday night game here. So last week, because we missed, we were all kind of bouncing around holiday week, and so we made last week's the week 18 picks worth 2 points each. All of us went 3-1, so all of us went technically 6-2 because they're worth 2 points each. So I am 51-21 on the season. Picking straight up, by the way, we just take close games and pick them straight up. Alex, 47-25. You're 4 games back. And Jeremiah, you are 44-28. You are 7 games back. But we have 6 wild card playoff games to go through here. We're picking straight up. We'll start with Browns at Texans, boys.
Who wants it?
I'll go first. I'm going to go Brownies. I think one of the things that we've always talked about is defense wins championships. And this defense is really, really good. I definitely think that D'Amico Ryans has earned a mic. Like, the dude has done a phenomenal job his first year there, especially with the rookie quarterback. What CJ Stroud has been able to do is fucking awesome. But I think they've lost some players, and I think that this is a new element, a new experience. And when you play a guy like Joe Flacco, who's won a Super Bowl, it's one of those things where it's like, hey man, Houston had a great year, but I think the Browns all the way.
Yeah, I want to take Houston. I'm a big fan. I was rooting for the Jacksonville to lose so that Houston could host a playoff game. Like, I really was rooting for that because I think C.J. Stroud, hot take, he's going to be the MVP next year. I think C.J. Stroud is the MVP of the league next year.
Wow, dude. Wow.
Right? I really do. And so I wish they would, but I think if they could have stayed healthy going into the playoffs, then, if they would have had Tank Dell and they would have had some of their players, Will Anderson could play every snap, right? They've lost too many pieces, and I think the stage is a little too big for them. This is going to be a great learning experience for them. This is going to be a great feather in their cap moving into next year, but Browns have just too much momentum, too much going on. I think the Browns win. I will say if Flacco throws 3 interceptions, though, this game is going to be very interesting, but if Flacco can just deliver the ball like he has been, he'll be fine, but he's the X factor. If he turns the ball over, the Texans will absolutely have a chance.
I think the Browns are favored in this game, but I'm going against you guys here. I get here's what I get. Home team for me. I get the better quarterback. We're all very much forgetting about the Joe Flacco we saw the 5 years previous. And we've seen flashes of him, right? He'll throw some bad interceptions. We broke down some Browns film last week, and it was like, there's that one throw off to the right side, kind of a 50-50 ball. I could see Joe Flacco on the road throwing 2 or 3 bad interceptions, and C.J. Stroud, if he's as good as you're saying, and I mean, he's definitely a top 10 quarterback right now. I agree with that. I'm going to take I think they're underdogs, but I will take the Texans to win with a rookie quarterback.
And I love that, Mackie, but you got to remember, when you're in a playoff situation, and I'm just saying this, the intensity goes way up. You feel it the minute you step on that field. And then you look over and see Myles Garrett, and you're like, this dude's turned. This guy knows how much he has to do today to get us to win. Yeah. Like, that's a scary thing. And
they rested guys last week, so they're going to be fresh.
That's why
it's going to be a great game. It's going to be a
great game. Super set.
Okay, Dolphins at Chiefs. I'll take this first because let me pick first at least a few times because I'm winning. You guys can pick against me if you want to. The Dolphins just kind of, I don't know, man. Like, the Dolphins on the road, they feel a little fragile. They've had a couple. They've lost a lot of games against better teams. I know the Chiefs aren't the version we've seen in the past, but I will take the Chiefs to get right and win a home playoff game here against kind of a fading Dolphins team.
Dolphins freeze. They freeze to death in 0-degree temperature. It's going to be
-5.
It's going to be real feel of like -19.
Oh, let's go.
Because not only is it going to be cold, but welcome to the Midwest, Dolphins. The wind blows, and it blows hard. Oh, and it's going to be
swirling.
Think 2015 Vikings Seattle. Right?
I'd
like
rather not,
that is going to be the type of game it's going to be.
Dude.
Like cold, awful, miserable, and
27-yard field
I
goal
give the nod
missed.
to Isaiah Pacheco. Right? I think that their run game, like the Miami's had a good run game. People always were getting on me like, look, they're like the best rushing team. It's like it's all explosives. Like, they're not a team that's just going to like methodically go 4 yards, 8 yards, 4 yards. Like, they're big explosive plays. When it's windy like that, when it's cold like that, the ball doesn't fly quite the same. Like, it's dense. Like, they're not going to be the high-flying offense. I think Kansas City ruins Tyreek Hill's coming home party.
Wow, dude. Booty.
I'm obviously going Chiefs, too. And to be fair, I played in a polar vortex one time in Green Bay.
It's horrible.
And it was amazingly terrible. Like, the field is ice. There is no footing. There's nothing. You're like, dude, I swear to God, if anyone slaps me today, I'm going to fight him. I'm going to fight him so fast because your skin just freezes so fast. My fingers turn to icicles. Like, it's a new world. And then you talk about
Joe Berger after the 15 game had frostbite on the tips of his fingers as a center because he didn't wear a glove because he was snapping. He had literal, like he said, didn't get feeling his fingers till like March.
What?
I'm telling you, man. And and you come from Miami and you're coming up to play in that. It's another world. We talked about Bills.
Your blood's real thin. Your blood's real thin down in Miami right now.
That's gonna suck. Yeah, I'm going Chiefs.
So we're all going Chiefs there. Okay, Steelers at Bills. This is probably a quick one, right? Steelers,
go Bills,
no
baby.
TJ Watt.
Go Bills. No TJ Watt. Right. Mason Rudolph's your quarterback. Like, I'm sorry. Great. Hey, Mike Tomlin.
Nice job.
Hats off to you.
Great job.
You found a way to make chicken salad out of chicken shit. again.
Yep.
Like, hats off to you, dude. But the Bills are back, and the Bills are not the team you want to run into in the playoffs right now.
No. Booty Bills, right? Okay. Let's go Packers at Cowboys.
Ooh.
I'll go first. Give me the Packers.
What?
Give me the Packers.
Jay.
I'm here for the Cowboys.
Do you know what you're
closing.
doing? Are you willing to pay for this steak and beer?
I know. And I might get this one wrong. But until the Cowboys can prove to me they can get out of the first round of the playoffs and not fully implode, give me the Packers.
Mackie, here we go. We're just going to take a bigger lead. I'm obviously going Cowboys.
Yeah, me too.
I'm sorry. I think the Cowboys right now, I agree. The Lions game, they should have lost it. But at the same time, they did it. And momentum is momentum. And when you're at home, I'm sorry, CeeDee Lamb.
Jair Alexander's going to lock him down, baby. He's going to go out for the coin toss.
Hey, I was going to say, is he going to go out and go, hey, defense? We want to go defense first. Well,
this is probably a bad take. Listen, this is probably a bad take, but we got to make this interesting. I can't just agree with you all the time.
Hey, the minute that game starts, LaFleur's going to be looking at him like, don't move. Don't move. Don't you fucking move.
Just sit there.
All right.
Listen, the Packers have been pretty good down the stretch here.
They have.
They're going to give him a game. And listen, until Dak can prove to me that he can't crumble in the spotlight, and he's done a well job this year, but like some of those games come back and you're like, what's happening? Right? He's shown just enough cracks in the armor that he's not the guy I'm willing to throw the farm behind and say they're going all the way. He can be that guy. But historically, epic collapses, man.
Yeah. Also, too, it's this is from a Vikings perspective here too. It's like this conundrum of should you move off? Be careful moving off Kirk Cousins. Oh man, you might ruin the franchise, right? First of all, that's a whole. You can find all my rants on Purple Daily for that. But the Packers literally moved off Aaron Rodgers, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, and 5 minutes later they were better and back in the playoffs.
Yeah. I was almost going to do that as my mic, but I figured you had been tired of talking about it all week, so we can talk about the Vikings train wreck
We can do
later.
it at any given time in the next couple of weeks for sure. Okay, Rams at Lions is the premier
It's
game.
the
on
biggest
schedule,
game.
Everybody's
Biggest
waiting
game
for
of the
this.
weekend.
Dude, it's going to be so awesome.
Stafford going back to Detroit. This is so
They're
tough,
playing
man.
hot, dude. The Rams are hot right now. Hot.
And the Lions have what? Is it one playoff win in 50 years? Like the Lions, until the Lions start to rack up some credibility, you still kind of feel like, oh man, I don't know.
And the Lions, if there's one place they're a little soft at, it's the corner position.
Yeah, and Stafford.
And you've got
is
Stafford, Puka
dudes.
Nacua, the best rookie receiver ever. You can say that now. He was the best rookie receiver ever. Cooper Kupp, Tyler Higbee.
I'll go first, so you guys can pick against me if you want to. I'm taking the Rams on the road here. I love the Lions, dude. I love the Lions, and I'm actually rooting now that the Vikings are out of the mix and they've done their duty and they've tanked for the 11th pick. I'm rooting for the Lions. But I think the Rams are a different team than they were 2 months ago, man.
Go Booney.
All right.
It's the toughest game.
It really is tough because
when so hard. The house that Matthew built.
I know. All right, listen. I think this is going to be a great game, and I am so excited to watch this, especially because Stafford coming home is just going to be more electric than anyone knows. But I can't go against Dan Campbell at home. I'm sorry. And I know that Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua, but I just think that Aiden Hutchinson, we just talked about it, 101 pressures. Like if you can stop the run and get a little bit of pressure on Stafford and get to him, I'm not saying it's going to be effective because that dude's tough as fuck, but it's going to be your only weapon to stop him. And at the same time, dude, I do think you guys are sleeping a little bit on the Lions. Like their run game, their 1-2
No
punch.
one's sleeping on the Lions.
I know.
We
I'm
love
just
the
saying,
Lions.
like
We
I'm
love
just-
the Lions.
I know. I'm just saying. I'm going Lions on this. Here we go. Let's go. Come on, dude.
I'm going with the
this?
home team. I'm giving the home team the nod. I'm giving the home team the nod. Strictly because it's home. If this is in LA, it's a runaway. I pick LA. But man, I saw like the Detroit ticket price to go through like that place is going to be insane.
Yep.
Right? But the only issue is LA is used to playing on the road because every home game is also a road game. Right? Like being on the road, like they don't know what home field advantage is because LA is the worst fan base in America. And so like they're going to go in there like the script writers at the beginning of the season wrote this beautifully, right? Like Matthew comes back
sure
to the
did.
house that he built
Yes.
to try and ruin the Lions' magical season. But I think as long as they can keep Stafford off the field, right? And that goes back to your point, Booney, right? The 1-2 punch with Jahmyr Gibbs and Montgomery, getting Amon-Ra St. Brown, the football going. But I haven't heard, and I will probably know more today since we're recording Wednesday, the Laporta injury is huge. Like, if he can't go, if Sam Laporta can't go, that's a massive, massive blow to that offense. Like, that could be a difference maker if he can't play.
Here's what's going to happen in this game. All right. So I'm going to win. You guys just sealed your fate here. I'm going to win. The Rams are going to win this game. So, and Jay brought it up. The secondary, Matthew Stafford is going to pick apart that. The Lions are going to have to score 38 points to win this game, right? And maybe it is a track meet shootout. But the Rams are going to beat the Lions. Jared Goff is going to throw 3 terrible interceptions. And Lions fans and the organization after the game are going to say to themselves, boy, everything is in place if we only had a quarterback like Matthew Stafford instead of Jared Goff.
I worry that the Lions are going to talk themselves into a 2017 Vikings scenario where they're like, we have to sell the farm to get a quarterback. Right, we have to sell the farm to get our guy.
You know, another guy that
and
could
move on and
maybe
move on, and then all of a sudden,
homecoming for
here
Kirky
comes
boy.
Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins.
Here comes Kirk Cousins to Detroit.
Uh-oh.
Hot take. You heard it here first. Heard it here
God.
first.
Hey,
Can't wait to chew
that I
on
could
Purple
see.
Daily.
I could easily see that.
I'm gonna
Last
move
game.
outside, boys. I got the ocean. I got a lake behind me. I'm gonna move outside for our next podcast. I'm doing
Did you
it.
just say, oh,
You should. You go out there right now.
I'm in Orlando. I'm in a lake. It's actually a lake. Should I go out?
Go out there right now.
Orlando.
Yeah.
Hold on. Okay,
While you
go
walk
ahead.
out
Mackie,
there.
tee up.
Let's pick Eagles, the fading train wreck Eagles
All right.
at the Buccaneers.
Who's going first here? Are you going first?
Go ahead. You fire away. Go ahead.
All right. I don't think 7 weeks ago I would have been thinking like this. I mean, I think at 10-1, they looked really dominant. But what's happened to the Philadelphia Eagles over the last couple of weeks has been insane. Dude, I'm not like, it's been a minute. Oh, that is such a pretty picture, dude. My goodness. Look at that
Wow, look at
palm
this.
tree in the back. Look at the palm tree in the back. God, that's such a ding. Ding.
Jay looks winded from walking across the Airbnb.
Right? That was a lot.
It's kind of cold. It's 51 degrees out here, boys. A little chilly.
Oh,
I think that Jeremiah will agree with me. What's happened to Philly the last 7 weeks has been insane and unprecedented. Like, they've just fallen so hard and so
people
fast.
in Philadelphia are calling for Nick Sirianni to potentially be fired if they lose this game to the Buccaneers.
Here's the problem. People don't understand this. Philly is insane about their teams. Like, as insane as you think they are 10 times more worse than you think. And Howie Roseman will not put up with any bullshit. There is zero nonsense. And if he thinks that the people of the city aren't happy, you better believe he's going to be like, these are my people. I'm going to make them happy. But at the same time, you go from the number 1 seed, like the juggernauts of the league, to now everybody's like, dude, what the hell is going on? You guys can't do anything. Turning the ball over, everything's going crazy. Dude, you guys lost to the Giants. And everybody laughed at me when I was like, well, I could easily see the Panthers coming out and beating who did they play the last game? Panthers were playing
in division. Tampa. Yeah.
They're playing Tampa. I was like, I could easily see them coming out and beating Tampa, and just because it's one more game. The Giants just did that. They literally were like, hey, if you think we're going to lose this last goddamn game, you're crazy. We're going to go out and punch these dudes in the mouth. And now it's got everyone turning around going, what the hell is going on? Here's an even bigger crazy thing. I'm about to turn around and give this game to Baker Mayfield. Can you fucking believe that? I can't.
You're taking
either.
Tampa?
I have to. Do you want to know why? Do you want to know why?
This is juicy.
Because when
Please.
you see a train wreck in December, do you think it gets better in January?
I know.
I'm just asking you. We've talked about the momentum. You need that momentum. You need to turn around because you're going to get fucking checked week 1 by somebody. And you need to turn around and go, yeah, we beat the shit out of those 14 teams. Who the fuck do you think you are talking to me like that? But when you turn around and you're like, oh boy, here we go. We lost to the Giants going into this thing. Like,
No
we lost
A.J.
to the
Brown. A.J.
Dude,
Brown's been ruled out.
Dude, we lost to the Cardinals.
They benched
Wait, did you
Jalen
realize
Hurts at
that?
halftime of their last
Yes.
game. A game in
And then
which
his
they were
finger?
trying to win.
his finger that's like broken, and it's like, dude, what are we doing anymore? The defense can't stop anything. The whole scenario of one coach leaving and another taking over, and it's just progressively gotten worse and worse every week. And it's like, now you're going to go play a team in Tampa that's won 6 of the last 7. Remember, once you walk into the playoffs, everybody's a good team. Everybody is it doesn't matter. I know for a fact because we played the Giants one year and they were 9-7, and we were like, what a joke. We lost.
Well, the records don't matter. Records don't matter.
They don't give a shit. You walked
you're in
into the dance, dude.
Yeah, you're in the dance.
You're in the party, and you're like, hey, I'm here.
So Booney's
What's
got
up?
Bucks.
Oh, I'm going
Booney's
Bucks.
got Bucks. I'll let you pick last here, Jay.
Okay.
Everything about this game screams to me the Eagles have to bounce back, right? With a big question mark. And I'm trying to sort of like you look at Eagles next to Buccaneers at any point over the last 2 seasons in a matchup. I don't care if it's in Tampa Bay. It could be literally in Canada for all I care. The Eagles are levels above the Buccaneers at every point the last 2 years. But that doesn't matter. It's what do they look like in the last month? Like you said, dude, AJ Brown, the injury for him. I want to say that the Eagles rise up like the Undertaker for one last choke slam, and then maybe they walk in and get smoked in the second round. Like I'm going to pick the Eagles. I'm talking myself into it, knowing it's probably going to be wrong. But like,
You sound like a Philly fan.
I can't compute Buccaneers beating Eagles in the first round of the playoffs. So I'm going to take the Eagles with less confidence than any game I've picked all season so far.
Oh, this is so hard.
There's a free point for you, Jay.
I know. I don't know. I don't know if the only thing that's making me lean Tampa is there's still some dudes on that team that were on that Super Bowl run.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of dudes on the team that were on that Super Bowl run that understand what it took to get there and understood the process in which they went through to make that run. Same can be said about Philly, but I think there's more galvanization of the Tampa Bay locker room than there is division in the Philly locker room right now. So I'm with you, Boone.
Yeah, I knew it.
I'm going to go Mike Evans. I'm going to go Chris Godwin. I'm going to go Rashad White. Like I'm going to give it to those dudes. I think that the Tampa O-line has rose to the occasion time and time again, right? You have Tristan Wirfs, you have Gadecki, Cody Mock, the rookie out of North Dakota State. Like all those dudes have been playing good football all year. They're going to rely on the run game. And I think that if you can get a lead on Philly, they could start to unravel a little bit. I think that's going to be Tampa's like, hey, let's start fast. Let's not let them feel like they can be the Undertaker, right? Hey, you're the same team we've saw for the last 7 weeks, right? Get your ass back in the coffin. Like I think I'm gonna go with Tampa. I'm gonna roll with Tampa, and I'm not super confident about this pick either, Mackie. Like I'm not like but like I think Tampa right now, gun to my head, they got to win,
dude. Amazing. So wow, we've got some discrepancies here. I like
this
man.
is it. Hey, Sirles,
Packers, baby.
Oh,
Packers
are
are coming.
The Packers, I forgot. Never mind. You're both going down.
The thing I love too is whatever it was 5 years ago, 4 years ago. The NFL has brilliant marketing executives, right? They look around the 12-month schedule and they're like, okay, how can we own like the middle of May? And someone says, what if? So everyone already knows who they're playing. What if we did a primetime special unveiling the order in which they play those teams, right? We'll call it schedule release primetime, right? And somebody in a room said, wild card weekend, all right? It's kind of, divisional weekend is kind of the peak, and then you got conference championship. How can we make wild card weekend more special? And someone said, what if we called it super wild card weekend and put one of the games on Monday? Huh? Super, we can own 3 days, and we'll call it super wild card weekend, and I am freaking hooked.
Sold.
That guy got a promotion for sure.
Let's do it.
Dude, side note, totally hilarious. Not really. Maybe TMI. When I went and got my vasectomy this summer, the people told me, they're like, why are you doing this in the summer? I was like, what are you talking about? They're like, there's nothing on to watch for TV. I go, what do you mean? They go, dude, wild card weekend, super wild card weekend,
Masters
booked.
Weekend. Yeah.
They go, we're booked like 4 days straight, just slicing nuts.
Yep.
It's just everyone just wants to sit in front of their TV. I was like, it's a good idea. it's not a bad idea at all. Like, let's just do wild card weekend. So, hey, shout out to all you dads out there with ice on your balls. No more kids. Good for you, man. You made the plunge. Enjoy Super Wild Card weekend. 'Cause I know there's a lot of you. I know there's a lot of you out there.
Yeah,
You're all just told me.
I'm Googling best vasectomy weekends here. And
I promise
trying
you,
to find
Super
a
Wild
list.
Card weekend is going to be the one. It's going to be one. God, this took a turn.
Super Wild Card
This
weekend.
took a weird turn.
Mount Rushmore. Super Wild Card
Mount
weekend.
Rushmore?
I don't know if you guys are golf fans, but Masters weekend, Thursday
Masters
through
weekend.
Sunday. Any of those majors, right? U.S. Open, the British Open. Get up early, put some
March Madness.
ice on your nuts.
Dude, the first weekend of
Oh.
March Madness. That'd be
Yes.
a good one, right? First weekend of
100%.
March Madness. What's another good one? Oh, the opening week of the hockey playoffs. There's hockey
just like
every single night,
stacked.
like
Oh, that's
multiple
fun.
games,
Let's go.
stacked on stacked on stacked. Those would be my Mount Rushmore.
Oh man, there it is, kids. Wait, there's some life advice for you there. The best weekends to get vasectomies. Hey, let's do I got 2 dumb football questions for you because we still have to do a film breakdown of the Eagles and see if
There was just so much to talk about this week. We had to go long.
I know.
We had to go
Right.
long. There's just so much to talk about.
Dude, and this is going to be because we're still going to do film reviews in the off season, but like the next few months with free agency, with you guys are going to be at the
draft.
combine draft, like
Draft. I can't wait
We're
for
gonna-
draft.
I'm gonna be. I'm gonna be
Hey.
next week. I'm gonna be on the road for every pod. Next week I'm in Minneapolis. The week after that I'm gonna be in Texas. Like, dude, I'm full moving, rocking and rolling here, and I'm gonna be a lot nicer places than y'all.
Yeah,
And that's-
well, you are like it looks like
Hey,
a
are we gonna
green
do
screen
one?
fake background behind him right now.
Can we do one from the combine, please?
Yeah,
We
100%.
gotta do one.
100%.
Look
I mean,
at
we
that.
have to.
That is-
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's. Oh, it's gonna be so fun.
Dumb
Jay lives
football
such a
question.
crazy life.
Dumb football questions. Here's one from Dan Henneman. What do you guys think of the XFL USFL merger? So they merged into one
Yep.
spring league entity called, is it the United Football League? Right.
Yeah, UFL.
What do you guys
I got a
think
couple
of this?
clients in it. I like it. I am kind of sad that so what happened was they merged, right? But so what really happened was 8 teams went away, right? Because there was 8 USFL, there was 8 XFL teams, and so there was a lot of guys that had opportunities. Now, I will say the quality and the level of football was not very good.
Yeah.
And I think that's why they decided, like, we need to cut this down and get the really talented players. And I think the NFL backed it a little bit, right? They didn't, like, throw all their weight behind it, like, yeah, we'll help this. Like, they backed it just enough to be like, yeah, we'll get some guys. And, I mean, I tell clients all the time, like, and my partner, Zach Zenner, he says it great, too. He's like, if you get cut out of the NFL as a rookie, why wouldn't you want to go make some money actually playing football, right? And get some tape out there and get film. Because if you get cut out of a rookie season and you only have maybe 50 snaps to your name in the entire preseason, it's hard to get back in the NFL. But if you can go play a full year and dominate in a league like that, you're going to get a shot. Like, especially at the premier positions, right? Receiver, corner, tackle.
What do the
Edge
highest
rusher.
paid players in those leagues, like XFL, USFL,
100 plus, maybe.
Yeah.
100
like,
plus,
like
maybe.
would it be
Which
worth
isn't
it?
bad.
If you're
100%.
like, but if you're
for
like
3 months of work?
It's
like
awesome.
like a Jaron Hall, like these rookie guys that come in, would the NFL teams ever allow those guys
No.
to go in
Never.
and get reps?
No.
Never.
And that's the thing that's going to be always tricky is the NFL will always separate itself from everything else. And if you're signed into the NFL, you're not allowed to do anything else. That is
It's
it.
in
That's
your
this
contract.
is-
It's in
this
your
is my
contract.
job. Like, yeah, you're not allowed to go play anywhere else. You're not allowed to play any all-star games. You're not allowed to do any nonsense, like stuff like that. I love this idea, though, because it is still trying to develop people. And I think it's still an opportunity. I agree with Jay, and that's what I was going to say was I think they took around, they looked around and they were like, hey, there's too many teams and we don't have enough money. Whereas we should just merge this together, combine all of our resources, and continue to develop players. Because when I came into the league, they had the NFL Europe. And that's when guys would go over to the NFL Europe and they'd play, and then they'd come back over here, and then they got rid of it. And so then all of a sudden everybody was like, well, if you don't make it, you don't make it. So I love it. And I think that Jay's right. I think that if you're a young, I don't even say rookie, if you're a young player, year 1, 2, maybe even 3, and you still want to keep playing, you don't want to go make $75,000, $100,000 playing football for 3 months messing around. Like just having fun, building connections. And that's what people don't understand. You're never going to sell anybody unless you have film and a coach standing behind you that knows someone that goes, this kid's worth it, right? You have to go in there and prove that to them. You have to show them I'm committed. I'm dedicated. Nothing says I'm dedicated by playing semi-pro football and saying, hey, I want to be here with you guys. I want to learn more. Teach me more. And I say this to guys in the gym when they ask me, like, hey, what do you think I should do? I'm like, listen, I think if anything, you should go build connections. You should go see what Coach Stoops says. You should go in and shake his hand and talk to him. And then all of a sudden, there's a connection for you. He's going to go reach out to his friends when he sees you putting in work, and he's going to go, hey, this guy's a fucking grinder. You're going to love him. That's it. Guess what? I don't need to see any tape. If I'm a GM or a coach and I have a trusted friend that calls me and goes, hey, you're going to love this guy, just bring him on.
Goes a long way.
Here we go.
Yeah. I like
this league is.
Now,
It's
the
awesome.
merger's been an absolute shit show. Like, I mean, total shit show.
Does the Rock still kind of
well,
own
like,
it? Or...
think about it on this front. Like, the USFL has like a players union and like all that stuff. The XFL did not.
Right.
So now you're talking about merging unions and merging coaches union, and like it's been a shit show. And like they have like these dispersal drafts, and like it's been a nightmare. Like once it gets off and running, I think it'll be better. The thing I don't love about it, this is like my one qualm. I loved the XFL schedule because the XFL schedule, the season ended in May, so that allowed guys to have a full year of tape, and then teams could pick guys up for OTAs. Right, and you could bring them in the building right when all the rookies got there, and they'd have a fresh start to really try and go make a push to make this team. The USFL schedule ends in like June and July, and so guys are going to get picked up and just thrown straight into training camp.
Right,
It's a long haul to make when you haven't been there through all the installs of OTAs and all the player stuff, and you just get thrown right into training camp. That's a harder road to hoe to make a team. But the good news is you should be in shape, like coming in, but you're going to be beat up from a season. Like, I just don't love the timing. I wish that the USFL would have adopted the XFL schedule of getting guys ready so they could get thrown in there for OTAs in the summer program.
You know, I've wondered too, like the NBA does a summer league for the non-veteran players. You have to be 2 years experience less, or it's guys that like they fill out the rosters with guys who are just kind of tryout players. And it becomes this mecca. It's like a 3-week sort of tournament pool play in Las Vegas. It becomes league meetings, everything. And I've wondered if the NFL, because, you know, in the offseason, you guys have 90-man rosters. There's a bunch of dudes that aren't going to have any shot at actually making a 53. If they would ever, even for entertainment purposes, if the NFL would do like a 4-week summer league or something from, you know, late May to late June, or if it would just be too much of an injury risk.
Too much risk.
And not only that, but June to July, like once you break from OTAs, they are literally like, do whatever you need to do for the next 3 weeks, because after that, there are no more days off. There are no more days. So if you're about to tell a coach, like, hey, I need you to come coach in this, he'd be like, fuck you, dude. I'm going on vacation. Like, you're not going to see me for another year. Leave me alone.
Imagine your second-round pick rolls his ankle in the 4th week of the summer league, and he's going to miss all of training camp, and he's going to miss the first 2 weeks of the season. It's just not even worth it.
Yeah. Yep. All right, we gotta run here because we got to do a
one
full
more
breakdown.
Oh,
one more.
come on.
One more. We'll do it quick.
Okay,
we'll be quick. I
more.
promise.
Okay. That's what he said.
That's what
to
I
his
tell my wife.
Yeah,
I knew you were going to go there. I'll be quick. I promise. I need 2 minutes of your time. I just need 2 minutes of your time.
I need like 25 seconds. Zuby 2000 says, as fans, we look at playoff brackets and hope to avoid certain teams. It's because you're a coward, Zuby. No, I'm just kidding.
Cowards.
Yeah.
Cowards.
As a Ravens fan, I'm terrified of the Browns. I don't want to play the Browns in the playoffs. Do players care about matchups in the playoffs? Do they look to avoid certain teams? Are you cowards?
So you don't look to avoid anyone, but I will say this: playing a divisional team in playoffs is tough.
It's a third time.
It's tough. A third game is a total coin flip. Right,
out.
Because especially when like you've split, because they're the only team. Dorian Thompson-Robinson is the only quarterback in the division that took down the Ravens. Mm-hmm. Right, and like you're so familiar with each other, and you know how each other tick, and you know you don't. It's not that you're afraid. It's just if you draw a divisional matchup like quickly in the playoffs, like it turns into more of a. It doesn't matter who was the better team or not. Those games are total coin flip. It's just like the end of last season. At the end of the season, right? Like Panthers, Bucks. Right, like you look at like Detroit and Minnesota, like those divisional games are always such coin flips because you're so familiar with each other and you just know everything about each other. So yeah, it's a tough draw, but that's what makes it so fun.
I agree, and I think that if you see a Ravens-Browns game in the playoffs, like in the conference championship, dude, inject it into my veins. It's just like when you're in the season and you're playing a conference team, you like the minute this game comes up, you pull out an old notebook and you're just like, I got every note from years of what these guys, I have every one of their blitzes, what this guy does. And then all of a sudden you go into the playoffs and you're like, scrap everything. Everything's out the window because it's win at all costs. So you're not even thinking logically at the end of the game. You're literally just like whatever it takes to win. So it really is. That's the only thing you don't want to see in playoffs. Other than that, that is never talked about. It's never like, oh God, we're gonna play the Ram. Oh God, are we gonna play the Houston? Like you're just like, God, I've seen these guys twice. They know everything about me. Are we going to get creative
from an individual level too, right? You're like, this dude knows how I pass
hit me with that move again.
Like this dude, like I gave up a sack in week 6 to this move. Maybe he's gonna. Like, you can overthink it like crazy.
Chasing ghosts. Oh, it's the worst.
So it's less about like, oh my God, that they won 13 games and scored 56 points.
Oh no, like I said, we're all in the
about the chess match.
Records
and the
are out. Yeah. Records are way out. Nobody even cares anymore. It's like, hey, this must be a great team. They're doing something well. Their defense is playing lights out. Their offense is playing well. They're not turning the ball over. Like everybody's here for a reason. And now you just stop and go, what do we do well? But yeah, you see a conference team for a third time. It's terrible.
Boom. All right, boys. That's our longest episode we've ever done of the OLine Committee podcast.
Look at Jay sweating at this point.
No, it's kind of cold out here. I'm a little chilled.
Are you going to stay out there for the Eagles film review too?
We'll see. TBD.
Okay.
TBD.
Let's get used to that Florida weather. Eagles. Maybe it's the last place that you reside this season. We'll see. All right, hey, appreciate you guys for getting us to 15,000 YouTube subscribers. Also, if you could click the subscribe button, 5-star rating, positive review on the Apple and Spotify podcast feeds, you can help us grow the OLine Committee. We'll see.
Go buy merch.
That's OLineCommittee.com for all your pancake shirts.